Welcome to Lecture Online. In this series of videos coming up, we're going to solve first-order differential equations. Now there's various techniques, and the first technique we're going to tackle is called the separation of variables. It's the simplest technique for first-order differential equations, which doesn't mean that all the problems are easy. I'll show you some typical problems and now some problems that are very unique as far as the typical type of solutions they can solve, and that's all about differential equations. Differential equations solve very specific type of problems. So we'll start out with first order equations, end with the specific technique separation of variables, and then we'll move on to some others. So starting out with a very straightforward equation, here's 2y prime plus 3x equals 0. Again, y prime means dy dx, so we can rewrite that as 2y dy dx plus 3x equals 0. So now the next thing we want to do here is what we call separate the variables. We put all the y's on one side and all the x's on the other side of the equation. So starting out, we'll put the 3x to the left. So this can be written as 2y dy dx is equal to minus 3x. And now we move the dx to the right side of the equation. So this is 2y dy equals minus 3x dx. And so now we have what we call separated the variables. We have the y's on the left side, the x on the right side. We can go ahead and integrate both sides to the equation. So we integrate that, we integrate this. Notice that the constants come outside the integral sign. So this can now be written as 2y squared over 2, because when we have the integral of y, we get y squared divided by the new exponent equals, and here we have minus 3x squared over 2. Now, of course, we have a constant of integration for both the left side and the right side, but I can simply combine those two and move it to the right side and simply write plus c. And so now what we could do is we could solve this equation for y by itself, or more typically, you move everything over to one side and you could say that the 2's cancel out, so we have y squared plus 3x squared divided by 2 is equal to c, and you could probably say that's probably a good way to write the final answer for this. So even though we don't specifically have it as y in terms of x, although you could do that, you could say, well, I could write it like this, that y is equal to the square root of minus 3x squared over 2 plus c. We could write it like that as well, but it's okay to leave it in this format right here. And that's how we solve first-order linear first-order differential equations using the separation of variable technique. That's how it's done.